Your Welsh surname is not like the others. If your last name is Jones, Williams, Davies, Evans, or Thomas, you carry something in your blood that makes you different from almost every other person in Britain. Your name is not an occupation. It is not a place. It is not a characteristic. It is a compressed genealogy, a patrilineal code that changed every generation for 1,000 years before it finally froze in place. The Welsh did not adopt fixed surnames until centuries after the English, the Scots, and the Irish. They resisted, and when they finally gave in, they did it in a way that encoded their ancestry directly into the name itself. Today, 1 in 3 people in Wales carries one of just 10 surnames. This is not coincidence. This is blood memory. Today we are decoding 10 Welsh surnames, from number 10 down to number 1. The surname that 1 in every 14 people in Wales carries, and which hides the name of a biblical apostle inside 1,500 years of linguistic evolution. These are not random names. They are the frozen echoes of a naming system that worked differently from the rest of Europe, and at the end, I will give you the key to decode your own Welsh surname, even if it did not make this list. If your name has not appeared by number 1, drop it in the comments. In the next video, it might be the one that shocks everyone. Number 10. Bevan. This surname comes from the Welsh ap Evan, son of Evan, but Evan itself is the Welsh form of John, filtered through centuries of pronunciation shifts. The ap fused with the name and hardened into Bevan. In the 13th century, a man named Llewellyn ap Evan would have a son named Dafydd ap Llewellyn. The surnames reset every generation. Your identity was your father's name, and your son would not inherit yours. Bevan families trace their roots to Glamorgan and Monmouthshire, where the transition to fixed surnames happened later than almost anywhere else in Wales. If you carry the name Bevan, your ancestors resisted the English naming system longer than most. Number 9. Griffiths, from ap Gruffydd, son of Gruffydd. Gruffydd is the Welsh form of the Latin Rufus, meaning red-haired, but the name carries more than a physical trait. Gruffydd ap Llewellyn was the only Welsh king to rule all of Wales from 1055 to 1063. He united the Welsh kingdoms, raided England, and married the daughter of an English earl before being killed in battle. When the surname Griffiths formed centuries later, it compressed the memory of dozens of generations of men named after that king. Those who carry this surname today descend from families who kept the name Gruffydd alive through the bloodline, generation after generation, until it became permanent. Number 8. Morgan. This is one of the oldest recorded names in Wales, predating the patronymic system. Morgan means sea-born or sea chief in Old Welsh. Mor meaning sea, gan meaning born. It was not originally a surname. It was a personal name given to coastal warriors and leaders. Morgan ap Owain ruled Glamorgan in the 11th century. But by the 16th century, when surnames froze, Morgan had become a family name without the ap. This is unusual. Most Welsh surnames compress a patronymic. Morgan skipped that step. If your surname is Morgan, your ancestors were coastal people, and the name they carried was old when England was still divided into Saxon kingdoms. Number 7. Parry. This surname is a contraction of ap Harry, son of Harry. But Harry is not a Welsh name. It is the English form of Henry, introduced to Wales after the Norman conquest. The Normans controlled the Welsh borders from the 11th century onward, and their names seeped into Welsh genealogy. Families who adopted Norman names often did so because they had intermarried with Norman settlers, or because they sought favor with English lords. The surname Parry marks a family whose bloodline crossed a cultural border. By the time surnames froze, the ap had fused with Harry, and the result was Parry. Anyone carrying this name descends from a family that absorbed English influence early and survived. Number 6. Pritchard, from ap Richard, son of Richard. Like Parry, this surname shows Norman influence. Richard was a common name among the Normans and the English aristocracy. The Welsh pronunciation softened it, and the ap fused to create Pritchard. Families bearing this name were often found in the border regions, Powys, Montgomeryshire, the areas where Welsh and English cultures collided and merged. In the 14th century, Welsh law still allowed a man to claim land through his father's lineage, but English law required fixed surnames for inheritance. The Pritchards were among the first to adapt. If your surname is Pritchard, your ancestors made a calculated choice to embrace the English system, and it worked. Number 5. Thomas. This surname is different. It does not come from Aptomos. It is the biblical name Thomas, the doubting apostle, taken directly as a surname without the patronymic prefix. This happened in parts of Wales where English influence was strongest, particularly in the south and the industrial valleys. By the 18th century, when coal and iron drew English and Welsh workers together, biblical names became fashionable. Families adopted Thomas, not because it encoded their father's name, but because it sounded Christian and modern. If your surname is Thomas, your ancestors lived in a Wales that was already industrializing, already mixing, already losing the old patronymic system to something new. But the next surname takes us back to the heart of the Welsh system. Number 4. Roberts, from Ap Robert, son of Robert. Robert is a Norman name from the Germanic Hrodebert, meaning bright fame. It entered Wales through the Norman lords who controlled the borderlands, but unlike Parry or Pritchard, Robert spread beyond the borders. It became one of the most common surnames in North Wales, particularly in Gwynedd and Anglesey. The reason is demographic. In the 16th century, when surnames froze, Robert was an extremely popular given name. Dozens of families, unrelated by blood, all had fathers named Robert. When the Ap fused, they all became Roberts. If you carry this surname, you cannot assume your family comes from one bloodline. You are one branch of many, all carrying the same name for different reasons. Number 3. Evans, from Apifan, son of Ifan, but Ifan is the Welsh form of John, the same root as Bevan. The name John comes from the Hebrew Yohanan, meaning God is gracious. It passed through Greek, Latin, and Norman French before reaching Wales as Ifan. When the Ap fused, it became Evans. This surname exploded in the 16th and 17th centuries because John was the most common Christian name in Wales. Entire villages had multiple men named Ifan. Their sons all became Evans. By the 19th century, Evans was the 4th most common surname in Wales. If you carry this name, your ancestors were part of the majority. The ordinary people, the farmers, the laborers, the ones who built Wales without titles or land grants. And the next surname was even more common. Number 2. Davies, from Epdafydd, son of Dafydd. Dafydd is the Welsh form of David, from the Hebrew name meaning beloved. Saint David is the patron saint of Wales. His feast day, the 1st of March, has been celebrated since the 12th century. The name Dafydd carried religious and national weight. When surnames froze, Davies became one of the most common surnames in Wales because so many fathers were named Dafydd in honor of the saint. The Ap softened and fused, and the result was Davies. By the 19th century, Davies was the 2nd most common surname in Wales, just behind number 1. If you carry this surname, your bloodline is directly tied to the patron saint of your nation. But the most common surname in Wales hides an even deeper secret. Before we reach number 1, one moment. If discovering what your surname hides fascinates you, subscribe. Every week we decode the surnames of a new region. And now, the surname that 1 in 14 people in Wales carries. The surname that compressed 15 centuries of linguistic evolution into 5 letters. The surname that proves the Welsh naming system was never about occupation or place, but about blood, lineage, and patrilineal memory. Number 1. Number 1. Jones, the most common surname in Wales. 1 in 14 Welsh people carries it. It comes from Ap Ioan, son of Ioan. Ioan is the Welsh form of John, the same root as Evans and Bevan. But Jones became dominant because of when and where it froze. In the 16th century, English bureaucracy reached Wales. The Acts of Union in 1536 and 1543 required the Welsh to adopt English legal practices, including fixed surnames. Families were told to register under one permanent name. The English clerks could not pronounce Ap Ioan, so they anglicized it. Ap Ioan became Joannes, then Jones. The C's at the end is English possessive. It marks son of. Jones is a hybrid. It is a Welsh patronymic crushed into an English mold. The name John itself traces back to the Hebrew Yohanan, God is gracious, the same name carried by John the Baptist and John the Apostle. When you carry the surname Jones, you carry an apostle's name that passed through Hebrew, Greek, Latin, Norman French, and Welsh before it reached you. It survived the collapse of the Roman Empire, the spread of Christianity, the Norman conquest, and the Acts of Union. It is the single most successful surname in Wales, because it is the echo of the single most common Christian name in Europe, compressed into a form the English could spell. If your surname is Jones, you are one thread in a genealogical web that stretches back to the earliest days of Christianity in Wales. Your blood is ordinary, and that is exactly why it survived. Your surname is not just a label on a passport, it is the compressed memory of a naming system that worked differently from the rest of Europe. For 1,000 years, your ancestors did not inherit their father's surname, they remade it every generation. And when the system finally froze, it froze around the names that were most common at that moment. John, David, Robert, Richard. That is why Wales has so few surnames. That is why 1 in 3 Welsh people carries one of just 10 names. Your blood is a chain that reaches back to the Acts of Union, to the patron saints, to the apostles themselves. Drop your surname in the comments, Welsh or otherwise, and I will tell you what it hides. If your name did not appear today, it might be number 1 next time.